Looking for a place that does it all? Maldini's by the River serves mouth-watering breakfasts, pasta, pizzas and more, plus amazing coffee and cocktails. They hit the spot every single time. You're planning a special event? Well, their private function room and versatile restaurant are the perfect place for any celebration. Good food, good friends, good times, Maldini's. G'day, welcome back to Life in 5, the podcast where we speak to some of the biggest names in sport, entertainment and the media. I'm MG and today's guest, well, we go way back. He's a broadcaster, he's a mental health advocate, he's an all-round beautiful man, and he just happens to be Hugh Jackman's best mate. He's dedicated his career to entertaining and making a difference. Whether it's behind the mic or driving conversation about mental fitness, Gus is as genuine as they come. It's my pleasure to welcome this week's Life in 5 guest, Angus Gussie Worland. Wow, here we are.
Mate, I'm so proud of you, MG. I just love you, mate. Listening to you say that, and it was the first take as well. Didn't muck it up.
No.
I'm proud of you, brother, and really, really proud to be here as well, chatting to you.
I know we're going to get to a grill team photo later in your photos, but the day we first met, the first thing I found out, we said to each other, I think I said to you, what day's your birthday?
Yeah.
You said December 7th. I said, what year? You said 68. I said, I'm 67. But
I think you said you're 68 as well.
Well, for a long time I said, yeah, I still do.
Yeah.
No, now I say 69.
I remember the whole thing around the grill team was quite incredible because it was my first gig on radio. I'd come from doing the Aussie Go series with Australian cricketers, and I didn't know what I was doing, and they just kept on rotating people through. I think my first break with Phil Gould went for 19 minutes.
Wow.
And they said, we really need to chop that down to 3 or 4. And then eventually, through circumstance, you got the message, which you should have got a month earlier. And then, of course, you were straight in. Within 2 hours, you were in the show, and we did it for nearly 10 years together.
We'll go down memory lane later in the show, in this podcast. But your first photo you picked, first of all, how hard was it coming up with 5 photos that, depict your life in such a broad array of things you could pick?
I think it was reasonably easy once I worked out what's really important to me. And this first one obviously is the most important. I don't know anyone's more of a family man than you.
You're close.
But you know how much I love my 3. And then, of course, Vic's there as well. And we've been through a lot. Having a wife who lives the other side of the world is never easy. And making sure that she's okay. And then the 3 kids and making sure that they got through schooling okay. And they're a great bunch of kids. Abby now, she's in Canada having the best time in Whistler. Ella's working in the modelling agency in the UK. Jack's just got a new gig in events in London. So we're empty nesters.
What, really?
Yeah, so Vix and I, for the first time, and it's not easy to not have your house. Our house is like your house. It's like a mini compound where it's the party house. People drop in all the time.
Oh, yeah.
People feel comfortable there. Yeah. People have their drinks there before they go out,
Yep.
all that stuff. So it's really strange to not have them around. But I'll see Abby in April. I'm going across to do a TED Talk, and I'm going to see her, and I'll see the other 2 galoots at some point during the year. But we took a long time, MG, to have our first. We had 8 pregnancies and our 3 children. We lost twins twice.
Wow.
And lost another baby before Jack. So when Jack came around, this big, massive melon, in the paper, my dad put Rooster Prop of the Future has arrived. And Jack was obviously asked very special because we didn't think we were going to, after a couple of years, we didn't think we were going to have them. And then Ella and Abby came around really quickly. And that photo is them before I joined them in London, Christmas of last year. It was cold, and I actually said that I was doing the Triple M cricket. But what I did is I left after the first test and flew from Perth and surprised them all in London. So that was 2 nights before I arrived, and then we had this wonderful Christmas together. And when I look at them, I'm like you with your kids, just proud of the kids they are. No matter what they do, they're still bumbling and fumbling their way through to what they want, but they're good kids. They'll look you in the eye. They're kind. They're very special. And of course, Vix is the key to all that. I mean, you and Megs understand. We all woke up at 3:30 in the morning, didn't we? That alarm would go, and everyone's up, and then they have to try to get back to bed again. And when you've got a solid wife that you can trust and you rely on and that you love, it just makes you feel safe. And Vix was that for me from the moment I met her. I fell in love with her early. Took her a little longer to come around. I asked her to marry me and she told me to fuck off. And then about a month later, she goes, why don't we just maybe go for a date? And I went, oh, yeah, maybe
or just a little bit of hanky-panky or something.
Well, just a little bit of something. And eventually took me about, I suppose, 3 months or so. And we've been married now 30 years last December.
Wow.
So when I look at that and I look at all the heartbreak before we had kids and then the heartbreak around them as well, now they're all overseas living their dream.
Well, I've known them kids and your wife for 17 years, and they were babies when I met them.
Yeah.
And Vix is what you say. She's a beautiful person.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that you came over and kind of threw it all on the line to start in Brekkie Radio.
Yeah.
And back and forth until you found the right combo.
Yeah.
It would have been hard on her, especially.
Vix was settled. She had a little place, well, not so little, actually, a really nice house in a village, and her cousins were there, her sister were there, all the kids were going to the same school. I mean, she was set.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I come home saying, I've been offered a breakfast radio gig and they want to sign me for 6 months because they didn't know if it was going to work.
Of course not.
I was completely new to it all, and I was able to get a 2-year deal, and she said, right, I'll bring the kids after the school year, which ends in September. So I was here for a few months with you without them, and then eventually she arrived, and the rest is history.
Well, you go from one love to another. Your second photo.
Yeah, my best mate.
Tell us all about this.
Yeah, so
let me just quickly tell the listeners of this podcast, there's 2 photos of Gussie and Hugh Jackman. One on the left looks like Hugh Jackman and a young Tom Hanks.
Well, in Philadelphia.
And the one on the right, I've never seen 2 men smiling as about their love and friendship as you 2 boys are doing right there.
Yeah, that first one on the left, MG, is when I was leaving to England on my gap year in 1986.
Wow.
So we'd just finished school, and that was, everyone turned out, all our mates turned out when everyone went overseas, and we had a big party at the airport. So that was that one. And then, of course, it's well documented that Jacko's been through, you know, a marriage breakup, and real first time he's had some real adversity in his life. And of course, it's so public. You know, you can't do anything.
He's a very private man, isn't he?
He is. But you can't keep that sort of stuff out of the public eye. That was when he came here at Christmas time, and we had his son, my godson Oscar, for about a week, and he came to pick him up, and he spent the night, and the next morning we just had a cup of tea. That's our front lawn. And he said, let's just get a photo. And he sent it to me later. And you're right, we're beaming. I think because I was such a support through what he's been going through, and he's always been a great supporter of mine. And our friendship, I think, over the last 5 years has got even more human and vulnerable.
I think it's intimate.
I know you would like to think that. But I think it's the closest thing to intimacy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Then without all the.
It's you know what it is. It's surreal. I mean, to have someone like that. We used to joke about it when we worked together in radio, and the go-to was let's get Jacko on. You know, but we could. Yeah. And this guy is a mega star in the world, not just in America or Australia, but everyone on the planet knows him. And you're his best mate.
Yeah, and I've known him since the age of 5, and like we call it pre-Wolverine mates and then post-Wolverine mates, because that's when it changed for him. And he's got a lot of great mates, and but there's this friendship group that we've got, about 5 or 6 of us from Knox that are still very, very tight. And I'm very proud of him, how he's come out of this. And, of course, then having the Wolverine Deadpool movie went so good.
How good was that?
And now he's doing his one-man show, and he's doing another movie in Belfast, and he's just banging stuff out and he's enjoying it.
We saw the one-man show. Is that the same one-man show when we went to New York about 12 years ago?
Okay. Let's just tell your listeners what a disgrace you were that night. Okay, so it was...
By the way, let me first tell my side of the story.
Okay.
2014 Me and Paigey
Yes.
had been drinking vodka for a while.
Correct.
Then we got on one of them tuk-tuks on the back of it. We said, we need to go to Jacko's one-man show. Yeah. We've turned up and everyone was sitting in their seats. You take it from there.
Well, it wasn't a musical. It was an actual play. and it was very tight. And for a big man like you, it was uncomfortable. And once you had broken the seal, it was all over.
It was gone.
So Jacko still talks about the fact that he was doing this real monologue of a discussion. He was about to murder his girlfriend or something like that, and all he heard was,
Excuse me.
excuse me, excuse me. Oh, how you going? Oh, yeah, here you go. Yeah, I'll get a photo with you later. Because all these girls in the crew were Aussies that had recognised you, and then you invited them all back to the after party, which was meant to be a private party. Oh, it was hilarious. He still talks about that. And then the next morning he married Vix and I again, remember?
It did. Central Park.
And you were still drunk.
You and
Paigey and Maddie.
I think we had tequilas for breakfast.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And it was freezing cold and you were smashing them. And I remember you went up to my dad's partner, my dad's gay. He went up to his partner and you said to him, gee, you'd have a slug on you. Because this bloke's 6'7" and a massive man. And I remember now he goes, I think MG just was talking about the size of my penis. I go, yeah, that'll be right. Don't worry about him. He doesn't mean anything. He's lovely.
What a trip.
It was a great trip. We took the whole show there for me to run the marathon. And that was 11 years ago, mate.
Well, talking about it, here we are. Matty Johns, you and me.
Yeah.
And tell us, we're all laughing our heads off in this photo, but tell our listeners of this podcast why.
Okay, so brilliant idea by our content director, Jamie Angel. To set us up right on the track for the Sydney Homebush 500. And what happened was at 7 o'clock after we'd been on for an hour, they decided to do some practice. So literally for the next half an hour.
Next 2 hours.
And then they stopped for a couple of minutes, but the whole radio show was basically just rubbed out because of the noise of the V8 cars. And that photo is like when we all realised that there's just no point, right? There's nothing you can do about it. And what I love about that photo is that Matty definitely was a bit of a strange cat. He was the boss.
He was the eccentric one.
He was the eccentric one. He was the boss. But you and I just
we're the sidekicks.
We absolutely had each other's backs.
Yeah.
And this photo just shows that pure joy of the three of us going, how are we getting paid to do this?
That's true.
That's what I love about that particular shot. And I could have used a whole heap of Grill Team shots, but Grill Team changed my life because it was my first proper gig outside of the Foxtel stuff. And, I just left Triple M's, last year. So 16 years later, I was still after doing Drive and that sort of stuff too. So it really set me up from doing a normal job to this.
I get stopped a lot of times in the street about, Origin and Penrith Grand Finals, and a lot of people stop me and say, oh, man, how good was the Grill Team?
People want the Grill Team back. That's what I get all the time. I get it all the time. Why can't you bring the Grill Team back? And, I doubt that.
I think the times have changed. I think what we did then, we wouldn't be able to, like some of the voices Matty did, some of the characters Paigey would write for Matty.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Deb, my ex-girlfriend.
Unbelievable. What about my mum?
Hello there, Foxtel remote.
What about my mum? Shagging some bikey guy.
Yeah, on meth.
On meth and on ice, running an ice lab out of her place in Clara. But it was a better time and an easier time to be a little bit loose.
We honestly, we loved every second because we were like kids in candy stores.
Yeah.
We met every morning for a coffee and a cheese stick. Before everyone else, we'd walk up.
We'd have a couple of ciggies.
We'd go, have a couple of bundas, go upstairs and see Kyle and Jackie O.
So remember Jackie O used to wear the gloves so she wouldn't want to smell from the cigarette, and Kyle would go, righto, time for me to be a killer.
How good was he?
He was just such a normal bloke, but then he changed his persona because that's when he knew what Australia wanted. And, of course, the success he's had is incredible. So, you and me meeting every morning. We met a good 45 minutes before we had to. But you wanted to get out. You wanted to get up and into town. You and I just love that time together. Like you say, cheese stick, couple of coffees, a few ciggies, and then Matty would join us, with half an hour to go?
Yep.
And by then, we were ready to do the show. But I'll never forget those moments, MG.
No.
And I've got to say truthfully as well that you were this huge man that had fought Wally Lewis and all that. And within literally weeks, we were mates. And I couldn't believe it. And all my mates were just like, what's going on? How are you mates with MG? And then when Matty came on, the same thing. And we were just lucky that we found each other.
Well, then we had some good trips. I mean, we went to Turkey.
Well, Istanbul.
Yeah, that was one of the best trips.
Gallipoli.
The 100 years of Gallipoli was...
When we slept out the night, so we woke up for when the troops were going to hit the shore, that is one of the best nights that I'll ever have. And we were cold. Remember, we were in those
beanies and
sleeping bag and stuff. But we had the best time. And Istanbul, you know what I mean? What a town.
remember when that massage parlour?
Oh, yeah.
Getting whipped by them blokes.
Whipped by with palm sticks. And we were nude. We were completely nude, weren't we?
and what about the photo shoot for Daffodil Day we did?
Well, we got nude for that as well.
And the photographer was...
Oh, the photographer, he definitely was keen on you. There's no doubt about that. But we had sort of daffodils just over the top of the bits and bobs. But that was you and I. Like I think the grill team, they got us at the best time because we were open to anything.
Yeah.
And we weren't afraid of just having a crack.
We go from our hijinks to something very personal to you.
Yeah.
This is, I believe, is the Australian of the Year nominations, or you were nominated for Australian of the Year. But tell us about this moment. Why was this so significant in your photo roll?
The reason I put this one in, it's me with the minister the night of the nominations for Australian of the Year. That's Chris, yeah, Minzy. And it was a lovely, lovely night. I took Abby, my daughter, along with me, and my mate Clint Newcomb. And so I was invited 2 guests because Vix was away doing Gotcha for Life work in the country. And the reason why I'm nominated is because of Gotcha for Life. So that's why I put the photo in MG. And Gotcha for Life has changed my life. 9 years ago, we started it. You were there when I started the conversation about my friend who took his own life. And I did nothing about it for years. And then eventually I started Gotcha for Life. And we've raised $21 million.
Wow.
And we've given that away to anyone that works in suicide prevention. But we still lose
too much.
nine people a day, 7 men, 2 women, and 1 every 8 minutes attempts. So all the work that we're doing and all the good work we're doing, I was at a school yesterday out of Castle Hill, 750 kids, and I waited for the parents in the evening. That's where I get energised. I love having those discussions.
Well, you're making a big difference, mate.
Trying to change the way that people look at things. And people like you being vulnerable and open and crying and so forth, that helps a lot of blokes because they go, if MG can do it, I can do it. Because we've been told all our lives to man up and shut up, and it's not working. It's time to man up and speak up. And this photo is all about all of us. There's 14 of us now at Gotcha for Life. All of us getting recognised for the work that we do. And I'm the one that gets all the people come up to me in the street and say, oh, that was great, or I enjoyed that, or you saved my life. Most of my staff don't get to see that. So the reason I put that one in is because I want them to know how much people are recognising what we're doing. And we're holding on to that number, MG, at the moment of 9 a day. I can't think of what it'd be like if there wasn't more people doing what we're doing.
Give the Gotcha for Life, if people are experiencing something right now watching this, if they, we're trying to have a bit of fun, but obviously we're trying to be informative as well.
Yeah. Well,
how do people get...
So gotchaforlife.org is the website. We've got a mental fitness gym that's free. So just like your gym working on physical muscles, we're talking about what are the muscles...
Just as important.
The invisible muscle in your head, and the one that we tend not to talk about too much. So it's all there. It's all completely free. And if you've got a school that wants us to come out and have a chat, just get hold of us at Gotcha for Life. And, that's my life's work now. And that's why I left radio at the end of last year. I'm missing radio, I must admit.
Yeah, it's one of the things that's the best medium, isn't it? I think it's the best medium because it's instant. If someone doesn't like something you say or someone loves something you say, they ring up straight away and tell you.
Yeah.
Where TV, it's sit and wait.
Yeah.
You make up, you sit around.
Yeah.
I remember I used to do something for Channel 7 back in the day for the World Cup, and the games run at 6:30 at night. They wanted us there at 10 a.m. I said, what for? The game's 9 hours away.
I know, ridiculous.
I just go through a few rehearsals. Oh, shit.
Yeah, TV is a bit like that. I'm lucky that I had such a good run at radio, but you're right. It's the instant thing, but it's the team that I miss. I miss the team, the producers, all that sort of stuff.
Well, we mentioned your dad and his partner in New York, but the love of your life is someone who had a character on our grill team days, Nellie, with the bikies. But your mum, Nellie, who is one of the most gentle and genuine, and you are so much like her. It's not funny. Tell us what this photo of you and her means to you.
So that's the last photo I took of the two of us. Mum's still with us, very sharp, but a little bit not quite as mobile as she'd like to be. But she's looking pretty smart there. Not bad.
She is looking
not bad
good.
For 87.
87.
And now the kids used to take her once a week shopping and stuff. We took a car off her, which was a very hard thing to do a couple of years ago because it just took away her independence. But It needed to happen. And I take her now to St Ives Village once a week, and she goes to the bank, and then she goes to a bookstore, then we get a cup of coffee, then we go to Coles, and she knows exactly what she's doing. She chats to everyone. And my dad left the family home when I was 10.
Wow.
So she absolutely took on the role of sort of main parent, and she's never given it up. And she's a wonderful grandparent now, and she's just a ripper. She loves you.
Oh, we love her. She's just one of them women who you meet straight away and you go, she's got love in her eyes.
Yeah.
She's just got love in her eyes.
I mean, can you imagine, MG, being in your mid-20s with 2 children and your partner comes and says, I love you, but I can't be with you because I'm gay?
It happens a lot more than we think.
They were in Tokyo at the time and Mum was just gobsmacked, and she never loved another bloke again properly. Like, she had a few relationships, but nothing stuck because she just loved Dad. But Dad couldn't love her in the way that she wanted to. But she didn't sign up for that.
No.
That's a really tough one. And for her to keep her dignity and to keep her spirit and her sense of kindness, I think is amazing. So, and that's what my kids see in her. They've been blessed with great grandparents, my kids, but there's a special bond there.
With Nana.
They
call her Nan?
mum. They call her Nella.
Nella.
Because her name's Janelle, so they call her Nella. But she'll answer to most things. She's pretty easygoing.
Well, that's 5 photos of your life that we could have another.
That goes quick, doesn't it?
We have another 55 of you, honestly, because your life has been so enigmatic. You know, everything you've done, it's been, done to perfection. You've had ups, you've had downs like everyone, and that's why you're on this podcast, because I thought you'd be such an interesting man to talk to away from the, everyone sees Gus Worland and they go, he about Gotcha for Life or on the grill team or on, Aussie Goes. But to me, I know what you like because I've spent a lot of time with you, and you're just a big, big teddy bear.
Yeah, same as you, brother.
Who loves everyone.
Same as you.
Okay, this time of the podcast we go, give me 5. I ask you the 5 questions and you tell me the first thing that comes to your mind, or you might. Number 1 is your favourite band.
Doobie Brothers.
Oh, listen to the music.
Yeah, so good.
Oh, how good are they?
Yeah.
Favourite song?
Sweet Freedom by Michael McDonald, who was the lead of the Doobie Brothers, singer who went solo.
He did.
It's one of the great songs.
He also sings What a Fool Believes.
That's right. Yeah, and
Wise men have the power.
Yeah, minute by minute as well. He's get that song out, you'll love it.
Minute by minute.
It's called Sweet Freedom.
I will get it on the way home today. Your favourite TV series?
West Wing.
Really?
One of the best. I've watched it. I've got the discs. I've now watched it again on cable. Yeah, absolutely love it. Just Aaron Sorkin, genius writer. So much movement, so much passion within the characters. I love it.
You're really watching the White Lotus.
I bet you do.
Everyone thinks it's like a porno.
It's a little bit sexy, isn't it?
No, not really.
Okay.
But in the latest one, Arnold Schwarzenegger's son's in it.
Oh.
And remember Arnold was in Terminator?
Yeah.
And he had the full frontal.
Yes.
Well, his son's replicated it in the White Lotus.
Did he go okay?
It looks prosthetic to me. A bit like your package there with the fly size.
Cocksock.
You're a mad cricket. You commentated cricket for Triple M for years. You rugby league. You're a Rooster.
Yeah.
You were the ground announcer. You're the ambassador for Roosters for so long.
Yeah.
What other sport did get you off?
Yeah, I mean, those two obviously the absolute key. But a sport that I've just got into lately is ice hockey.
Really?
Especially NHL ice hockey. I've been to 2 Rangers games this season already in New York at Madison Square Gardens. What a place to go and watch sport.
Yep.
Best hot dog, liter beers, just sensational.
America do it good, don't they?
Oh, they have to stop all the time for the ads because that's how they pay the athletes so much, which means what's happening? Well, when you're in the ground or the stadium, it's happening all the time. They're giving cars away. They're giving T-shirts away. They're giving away this, that, and everything else. There's competitions. There's little kids having a run around. It's just brilliant. They put on a great show, and I'm a New York Ranger fan big time now. And
you're a bandwagon.
Oh, God, don't worry, I can jump on it.
What about the other day, Canada versus America?
I know.
The three fights in 9 seconds or something.
Yeah, and the booing in the national anthem because Trumpy wants to take Canada over.
Trumpy,
I was there when Trump got in, staying at Jacko's place, and New York was one of the only states that voted for Harris, so they were really miserable and stuff. And people going, I'm going to leave. America's fucked.
Well, they
I'm
have.
gone.
A few of them have.
And a lot of them have, yeah.
But only Ellen and someone else, I don't know.
Yeah.
But okay, you've been a bad man. You're in jail for a life. Actually, you're on the death row.
Oh no! What's your
final? What's your you smothered someone with a pillow.
Can you remember we went to Long Bay Jail once?
Oh,
and that was horrific, wasn't it? Like we spent a whole day in there.
they should make kids in schools go there. Honestly,
to make sure you never go.
Because you walk in and the beds are on top of each other. You can't. I couldn't walk straight. I had to walk sideways because my shoulders are that broad.
Yes.
I went, how can you stay? And they stay in them for 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
Man.
And I remember, I knew it was going to happen as soon as I walked into the cell. One of you had shut the door on me, and of course you left me. And then the bloke came and got me later, and I said, "Who stays here?" And he goes, "Oh, the bloke, he's by himself now." And I go, "Oh, looks like 2 bunks." And he goes, "Yeah, he killed the other guy, putting a Breville toasty into a pillowcase and bashed him on the face when he was asleep."
Wow.
I went, "Oh, that's nice."
That would do it to you, but living in that type of quarters, if you're a lifer.
Unbelievable. So if I'm on death row...
What's the meal you're going to have? What's your last meal? I know you love your cheesies.
Oh, I'd love a Big Mac meal, 2 cheesies, chocolate sundae, fries, and a Fanta.
And?
That'll do. That you reckon?
What about some dumplings or something?
I don't mind a dumpling if it's with you. I find food now... I love it when I'm with people, rather than just shoveling it down my guts. But the thought of going out with a meal with friends and having a laugh and a few drinks, like we did not so long ago with your mates, who
awesome.
Came
over a
from
meal.
Penrith, and all my mates now want to come.
Yeah.
You came to Coleroy, so we want to come to Penrith. That's what it's about.
Well, Gussie Worland, you've been illuminating. You've been fantastic. You've been transparent, which I love. It's your life in 5, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. Thanks, MJ. I'm
Thanks
very
for joining
proud
me.
of you. Well done.
Ditto.